Well, joining me on the line, we have John from Basingstoke, regular caller to the show. John, are you there?
Hello, Mark. Yes, John here. John Ashe with an E from Basingstoke. I'm here. I'm in the living room, and my grandson is here today playing the guitar. I'm sure you can hear him.
Yes, I can hear something in the background. What's he playing?
Yes. He's playing the guitar.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Now, John, we have some unfinished business because, oh gosh, I certainly hear it. We have some unfinished...
excuse me, a little bit not so loud, please, because I need to be able to hear Mark. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, you called into the show and you had a puzzling memory of a film you'd seen as a child, I think, about someone spitting in a hamburger. Perhaps you'd care to remind the listeners what that was.
Yes, it was a film that I saw as a child about somebody spitting in a hamburger. And it was a comedy film.
Uh-huh.
At least I think it was, or at least it had comic elements in it. And I think it might have starred somebody like Jack Lemmon, or Walter Matthau, or Elliot Gould, or somebody in that mould.
Uh-huh.
And there were two people sitting in something like a McDonald's, or a Burger King, or a Kentucky Fried Chicken, or a Wimpy, or something like that. I think you know that sort of place, don't you, Mark?
I have frequented that sort of place from time to time.
Right, so that sort of place, and they're talking about the plot at the table, and they've ordered something, and then the camera just shifts to looking through a gap, and you see somebody preparing a hamburger or a fish burger or something burger.
Right.
And the person snorts, and then spits onto the meat or whatever it is, and then closes the hamburger. The next thing you see is it being brought to the table.
Right.
And the conversation continues, plus eating of the aforementioned item.
Right. So you called in about that a couple of weeks ago, and I did ask. Obviously, you would have been listening to the show as a regular listener to the show, of course. I did ask for people to suggest films, and of course, we had quite a lot of people suggesting different films. So I'm sure you will have heard them at the time. But let me go.
Yes, and I have to say,
I
have to say, the suggestion of Zulu was pretty stupid. To be quite honest, I mean, I don't remember any eating at all in that film, to be honest.
I know Michael Caine says, don't throw those spears at me.
Right, well, yes, okay. I mean, it's a good film, and it does have some good lines like that, and some good actors, in fact. But I don't remember any eating.
No.
I don't remember any spitting.
No. Well, I suppose there's a lot going on during the fight scenes. There could have been some spitting there, I suppose.
Too loud. Over there, please. It's a good concert. I'm enjoying it. It's a lovely chord. Thank you. Sorry.
It's all right. I was just saying, John, that there was a lot of fighting going on in Zulu, so there could have been some spitting as well.
Well, there could have been, but I don't remember any spitting on hamburgers. I don't think they had They had burgers back in those days, did they?
Oh, I don't know.
Or in that area of the world in those days.
No, South Africa, wasn't it?
Yes. I don't know, because maybe the hamburger, I can't say it now, the hamburger started in South Africa, I don't know.
I think it started in Germany, wouldn't it, with a name like that?
Well, there's not much difference those days, was there?
No. Well, look, we've got some people who've called in. Let's see. So we start off from the top here. So obviously we're going to rule out Zulu. Fair enough. What about, we had Tracy from Dumfries who said she thought it was Ghostbusters 2.
Well, no, I don't reckon. No. I mean, nah. Well, have you seen Ghostbusters 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, there wasn't Ghostbusters 1, so, nah.
No? No. All right, what about Jeff from Godalming suggested The Godfather?
Well,
I mean, that's
got three parts, hasn't it? There's a Godfather 1, 2, and 3.
That's true. He doesn't specify. He doesn't specify which part it was actually.
Well, that's two problems, isn't it? Because first problem is I don't think it's in The Godfather 1, 2, or 3. And then if you don't specify which one you think it's in, then it's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it would be in the number 3, wouldn't it, if it was in any of them? Because number 3 is rubbish.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they were all good, weren't they?
No, number 3 is rubbish.
Okay.
What about?
But then again, I enjoyed it when I was a child, so I suppose I wasn't very discerning at the time, but I enjoyed. Anyway, it's comic, you know.
Okay,
those three people wouldn't be in The Godfather, would they? Can you imagine Jack Lemmon in The Godfather?
No. That would make it more watchable, I think, but no, fair enough. What about? We've got Harry from Staines who suggested the.
Just a moment, my grandson's speaking to me. Thank you very much. That was a lovely concert. Thank you very much. Okay.
Are they gone?
He's putting his plectrum behind the strings.
Oh, right. Okay, well, look, we've got Harry from Staines who suggested the transgender drama, The Danish Girl. That doesn't sound very likely, does it?
What, back in the 1970s? I don't think.
No. This was only 5 or 6 years ago. This was.
Oh, well, hold on. Now, this person has suggested something from 5 or 6 years ago when I
yes, that doesn't make sense.
Clearly said that it was when I was a child.
Yes,
and I mean, I don't sound that young, and I've said probably about 1 million times on your show that I was born in 1960. So I think this person is either not very bright, or is having you on.
Okay,
or is an imbecile.
Well, look, steady on, John. Well, look, Harry from Staines, if you're listening, I promise you're not an imbecile, but it was perhaps a little bit of a modern film for John to have remembered.
Harry from Staines.
Yes,
you're an imbecile.
You don't mean that.
No, I don't mean that.
Fine.
I don't know him.
That's fine.
I'm only going on the evidence before my eyes, or my ears.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, what about Julie from Dover, who suggests Once a Jolly Swagman? Now, do you know that film?
No, that's possible, isn't it?
Yeah,
certainly the title sounds reasonable.
It's Dirk Bogarde playing a BMX motor racing driver. And it was...
Well, no, Dirk Bogarde can be a little bit lighter, can't he?
Yep.
Certainly lighter than his brother Humphrey.
I don't think they're related.
Well, one is normally related to one's brother.
That's true. I mean, so it could be that one. That was 1960, late 50s, something like that. You might have seen, it might have been repeated on telly when you were young.
That's true, but it has a distinctly... I would say it has a distinctly late 60s feel to it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so we're beginning to home in on it a little now, aren't we?
All right, what about Malcolm from Devices says Confessions of a Window Cleaner?
I've seen that, and it's rubbish, and it's not that.
Right, okay, so I think that's the first...
most boring, quote-unquote, sexy comedy in the mould of Carry On film that I've ever seen in my life.
Robin Asquith, isn't it? Isn't it Robin Asquith?
I don't know. I couldn't bear it.
Right. You sat through it all, though?
I sat through it, but I didn't pay much attention to it.
Right.
I mean, I lost interest after the credit sequence where that man was just going down the road with a ladder forever.
Right. So it's not that one. All right.
No.
Not sure this one is going to be much good either, but Dave from Sutton at Hone says The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. I mean, that's got Walter Matthau in it, hasn't it?
I thought it had John Travolta in it.
Oh, well, that's the remake you're thinking of.
It wouldn't be the remake because this was quite a long time ago. We're talking the late 60s.
Well, this was early 70s, this film, the original version.
No, I'm
Walter Matthau.
No, it was John Travolta, I think. Oh, you mean he was in the latest one?
Yeah.
No, it's not that one.
Okay. How about, talking about Carry On films, Trish from Charlton says, is it Carry On Camping, she says.
Yeah, actually, it could be the one with Walter Matthau in. So hold on, I'm getting confused now. So that's not, I don't think he was in a Carry On film, was he?
Walter...
He's American, and it was that's something. Another important thing that I don't think I mentioned, although I did mention American actors. It doesn't necessarily mean it was an American film, but I think it was an American film.
Right.
Whereas the Carry On films, I think, are all British. Which is not to say there aren't any Americans in any of them. I mean, I haven't watched them all, so I'm not sure.
Well, one of them
But I think the suggestion of Walter Matthau and the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever it is, that's quite a good suggestion. Is that the one where Walter Matthau looks back through the door when somebody sneezes?
Yes, although you have given it away to anyone who hasn't seen the film. But yes, spoiler alert, I should say. Yes, that's the film.
Well, that's a possibility, actually. But I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, Derek from Poole says that now Derek offers two choices, or well, I suppose one choice actually. Two things, one choice. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Choice between the two. Up Pompeii, or that was with Frankie Howard with an ERD Howard, or the Pink Panther Strikes Again.
No, because no. Well, Mrs. I don't think. No, because Frankie Howard isn't the right sort of humour for the. No, it's too subtle. It was a very subtle spit, and I don't think.
Right.
I can imagine Frankie Howard spitting, but I think it would have been much more. I was going to say in your face, but that's not very nice. I didn't mean it in that sense. I mean, sort of who are Mrs. Fancy doing that in here? Get out of here, you dirty person! This is my show, sort of thing. And no, it was all very discreet. Nobody mentioned anything about it. It happened in the background, and then it was served at the table, and you were left to either be revolted by it or to chuckle at the humour of the person then carrying on eating. I think the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3, 4 is quite a possibility. Although I think it might have been Jack Lemmon. Although Walter Matthau is a good suggestion.
What Jack Lemmon was in the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3? You're saying?
Was he? Well then that's it then. I reckon that's it then. If Jack Lemmon was in it.
No. Sorry, I thought you were suggesting he was. No, I don't think Jack Lemmon. No, Jack Lemmon wasn't in that film.
No, that's what I mean.
Oh, I see.
No, I think Walter Matthau. So I said it was the kind of person like I mentioned those three people. But if I had to bet on it, I would say it was Jack Lemmon, because Jack Lemmon, as far as I remember, isn't in Pelham 1, 2, 3, 4. Though you seem to suggest he might be. Perhaps he's in the. Is he? No, he would be in the second one because he wasn't alive, was he?
I think. Was he alive?
Don't know.
Don't think he was in it though.
Right.
Well, look. Let's just quickly wrap this up. We've got a few more suggestions. I don't think they're really going to be any good. We've got James from Cardiff suggests A Clockwork Orange.
Too serious. That's Stanley Kubrick, I think. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, that's too serious. It's pretty violent in places, isn't it? And unpleasant.
Yeah.
No. This has a sort of wholesome comic feel.
Right.
It's not a sort of forced, unpleasant.
No. Okay.
Okay. Inside something that's quite disturbing. No, it's not that.
I can't read his writing. Penley? Could that be Penley? Penley from Manchester. No, Penelope. Sorry, Penelope from Manchester says Taxi Driver.
Taxi Driver.
I mean, that's an American.
No, because that's a series, isn't it? And I don't think. No, what's the chap? What's the name of the chap?
Oh, Robert De Niro.
No, the one with the eyes. Well, I know that Robert De Niro has eyes, but what I mean is, there's a guy who used to. It was very, very funny, and there was a film made about him called Man on the Moon.
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And then R.E.M. did the music for it.
Neil Armstrong.
No, it's called Man on the Moon, and it's about. I know what he's called. It's called Andy Kaufman.
Okay.
That's it. That's the one. Yeah. So he was in Taxi Driver, and it was a series, wasn't it? So I'm not talking about a series. I'm talking about a film, a comedy.
No.
Film,
I think
a sort of light.
I think you're thinking of a sitcom, aren't you, called Taxi? I think Penelope from Manchester suggested Taxi Driver, which is rather a sort of brutal, violent thriller starring Robert De Niro, directed by Scorsese. I think that's actually where the confusion lies. But I think that's too...
Well, if it's a very brutal thriller, then it's not really the kind of film I'm talking about, is it? So I think you have another moron as a listener there.
I mean, the only other person I've got is Frank from Ormskirk, who says, is it a Razorhead? He's pretty sure it is.
Right, well, if you've ever... Ormskirk's a dump, all right? So if you've ever been there, it's a total dump.
Oh, right. Okay.
And actually very suitable, therefore, for a film like Eraserhead, which is a film I've seen.
Okay.
It's extremely depressing. No humour in it whatsoever.
Right.
Well, unless, of course, you're into a sort of bizarre, surreal, nightmarish sort of humour, which I'm not.
Okay.
But I suppose spitting into a hamburger would work. But another thing is, I remember it definitely being colour. And if I remember correctly... Eraserhead is all in black and white, isn't it?
I don't know. I think I remember watching that, but I did a long time ago. But I did actually only have a black and white telly, so I couldn't tell you.
Right. Well, it would have been in black and white then.
Yeah. But then everything was in black and white.
No, it wasn't that long ago. There were lots of colour films around when that was made.
I mean, I don't think Jack Lemmon is in Eraserhead, or Walter Matthau, as far as I can recall. So,
no, it's Jack Nance, isn't it? Is that right?
Jack Nance. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes, I think so.
Well, that's Jack Lemmon's...
he wasn't in it. No, it was Jack Lemmon, I'm sure, that was in it. And he wasn't in Eraserhead.
Right. So basically, John, you think it's possibly going to be the Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3?
1, 2, 3, 4, isn't it?
I think it's only 1, 2, 3.
Oh, well, whatever. Yeah, I think it could be that.
Okay.
And I could have Walter Matthau wrong. Sorry, Jack Lemmon wrong. Could be Walter Matthau. So if that's the case, I'll have to find that film. Now, I've noticed it's on a lot, but it's always the one that's not the old one, isn't it? It's always the one with... Is it John Travolta in it, did you say?
John Travolta, I think, is in the remake, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, playing the baddie. I imagine.
Have you seen that one?
No, I haven't.
No.
No, I haven't. I've seen the original. So perhaps next time I watch the original, if it's ever on or something, I can have a look. Look out for the hamburger scene.
Please do, yeah. So I'm going to watch the remake when it's on, because it's nearly always on.
Right.
And see if it's in that. And if it's in that, the hamburger scene, then that means it almost certainly will have been in the original. But then if it's not in that, that's not going to tell me anything, is it?
It's not. So either way, it's not going to tell you.
No, I don't think that's true. I mean, if it's in there, the chances of it being in the remake and not in the original are pretty slim, don't you think?
True. Unless they're fans of the film you liked and decided to put it into the remake of Assault on Priest... No, what was it? Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3. Sorry. Unless they decided to put into that, having seen the film that you remember as a child. I mean...
So, what did you say? Assault on a Priest?
Assault on Precinct 13, I'm thinking of, which is a different film again.
No, I think it's Taking Pelham 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
I reckon. So that's what I think is the best bet so far. So thank you very much, at least for giving me a lead.
Well, that's
whichever
right.
listener that was, at least you've got two intelligent listeners, of course, including myself. Well, because as you know, did I tell you that I trained and became a quantity surveyor? Did I tell you that part?
Yeah, you did.
Right, yes. So that's where I have a scientific background.
Yeah.
See, a lot of people who listen to these sorts of shows, they don't really understand things like this because they're not scientists.
Okay, but you're a scientist.
I am indeed a scientist, yes. I studied sciences in order to become a quantity surveyor.
Is it a science, quantity surveying?
Well, it's several sciences all mixed together, yeah.
Well, look, I think we've had you on the line for quite a long time, John. Don't want to bore you too much. Have you got a song for us to play, a piece of music for us to stick on for you?
Well, yes, because I was thinking about this, and I thought, well, I don't really remember there being any women in this film. Now, there may have been, but it seems to me that if there weren't, there ought to have been. And there is a song that I used to dance to when I was a youngish man, which is Girls on Film by Wham. So I thought perhaps that would be good, because in that case, you see, there are some girls in a film or on a film, whereas the film I was talking about that might not have had women in might not have had them. So that's what I think it's by Wham, isn't it? Girls on Fire film. Girls on Film.
Girls on Fire. Different song again, I would have thought.
Yeah, that's Wheels on Fire, isn't it? So I was thinking of a different one. That's by Aha, is it?
Well, look, let's. I think Girls on Film, and I might be. No, hang on. I think I'm right. Is Girls on Film is actually by Duran Duran.
Exactly as I said. That's right. So I think that will be a good one because I wasn't very young when I used to dance that, but I did dance to it and quite enjoyed it. And Maud used to enjoy that one. So if I could give a shout out to Maud today for that will be hunky dory.
Absolutely, we'll do that for you. And thank you for your thoughts on what our listeners said. And if the listeners are out there listening, as it were, I'm sure John doesn't mean it when he calls you morons or imbeciles. Is that right, John?
Of course I do. I always mean everything I say, Mark.
Okay.
Yeah. No offence, of course.
No, none taken. All right, John, well, we'll speak to you again next time I'm on air. How about that?
Absolutely. Thank you very much for providing me with a service, actually, this time.
That's
very impressed.
No problem.
Always enjoy your show. Great show.
Thank you.
All of a pleasure. Always and all of a pleasure. And I look forward to our next chinwag.
Absolutely. We'll speak to you next time, John.
Yep. Okay then, Mark. Okay.
Cheerio.
Great stuff. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Darren's Valley's radio station.